Good evening, guys. So in yesterday's class, we have discussed about EBS snapshots, right? So in yesterday's class, we have discussed about a concept called as EBS snapshots. I'll just give a quick recap of that. So we already know what EBS volume is. We have discussed about EBS snapshots. What is a snapshot? Snapshot is a point in time image of the EBS volume, right? What is a snapshot? Snapshot is a point in time image of your EBS volume. What does that mean? That means like whenever we click a picture, that particular instance will instant at particular time, whatever is happening will be captured. Similarly, whenever we trigger a snapshot, whatever is there in the EBS volume will be captured, right? So that is the purpose of EBS snapshot. Understanding?
Yes.
Now, apart from this, we have seen that suppose we have an EBS volume. So just assume that this is my EBS volume. It may be a root volume, it may be a non-root volume, doesn't matter. Just imagine that this is an EBS volume. And if I take a snapshot of this, if I have triggered a snapshot of this volume, then what will happen actually is, so a similar copy will be created. Now, this will be a cloned copy of the previous one, and this is going to take some time. Now, this is not EBS volume, this is EBS snapshot, right? And it will have the same amount of data which is there in the EBS volume when it was triggered, right? So, as a part of the concept, we have seen that if there are two files over here initially,
Mm.
and then we have created a EBS snapshot. So here also same two files will be there, right? Now, this is my first snapshot that we have taken. This is my first snapshot that we have taken. Now, after this, if I take another snapshot, if I take another snapshot, what is going to happen actually is, so just imagine that snapshot will always be taken of the EBS volume. So just assume that now the second time when I'm triggering a snapshot, there are few new files
Mm.
which are created over here, right? Now, what is going to happen? Just see here very carefully. Just a revision, actually, Karan, you already know that. Suppose this
Mm.
is file A, this is file B, and here is file C, and this is file D. Initially, we have that, right? And when we just assume that these two files are not available as of now, first, just assume that C and D are not available, were not available when we were creating snapshot one. We had only A and B. So in our first snapshot, what will happen? Only A and B will be created. Exactly how many files are there? Those files will be created here, right? Now, when I'm triggering another snapshot, these two files are extra. These two extra files are there. Right? These two files are extra. Now, whenever I'm creating another snapshot, what is going to happen? Please observe carefully. So, sorry. So here, the new files will be copied here. That is, here we will be getting files
Mhm.
and D. Here we will be getting files C and D. So, but what will happen to other files? Actually, total number of file, we have 4 files in the EBS volume. So, but it is not going to take complete snapshot. Why? Because in the previous snapshot, we have 2 files already, right? So what it is going to do, these 2 files, which are present over here. So this particular thing from here, this will be copied here automatically. Understanding? Understanding? This is already here, right? And these 2 files have been moved over here. Now observe carefully here. These 2 files will be copied over here. So
Mm.
in my snapshot 2, We have all the files. That means I have complete backup of my EBS volume or not. This is EBS 2, right? So here we are having exact copy of or not, tell me. Do we have exact copy or not, guys? Do I have the complete data of the EBS volume or not in the final snapshot? Right? Guys, please respond. Hello, are you able to hear
Yes,
me?
Akshay.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So that means here it is not going to take the complete. This is only going to capture the new files, and the previous files are going
Mm-hmm.
to be moved over here. So this concept, we called it as incremental snapshot. Right. Okay. This concept, we called it as incremental snapshot. So now, even if we delete this particular snapshot, so this is going to take some space, right? And this will be stored in S3 bucket, and that S3 is not your S3 bucket, that will be of AWS, right? That also is a part. Now, just say that, we have come to a conclusion where we say that we have deleted this snapshot because this was occupying some space. So still, we have the complete data or not available with us, right? We have complete backup of the EBS volume here, right? Yes or no? Tell me, guys, fast. So here we have complete data or not? Is it audible, guys? Please respond.
Yes.
Great. So today we are going to see this a little bit practically, okay? And we are going to do a new experiment. I don't know it is going to work or not, but let us try based on whatever we know as a part of theory, right? This is completely new, okay? So we are going to play with the root volume, EBS root volume, okay? Guys,
Yes.
so what we are going to do actually is, so let's see what we are going to do in practical. So with the EBS snapshot and all. So we are going to see, so there is a question that comes to my mind. So, can we attach, this is completely interview scenario, guys. Okay. They may ask you this question. Okay. Can we attach root volume? Everyone knows what is root volume, the volume where the OS is installed. That is what is a root volume, right? Can we attach root volume of, okay, root volume of EC2 server, root volume of EC2 server to another EC2 server, right? This is what we are going to see. So this is completely new concept. So even I don't know if we will be able to do that or not. So that's what I'm telling. We are going to experiment it. So before that, we need to launch one server here. So first of all, I'm going to launch a server. So till now we were working on Linux environment. So in order for you guys to visualize it, I'm going to launch a Windows server. So I'm going to choose free tier eligible. So what is Windows Server 2019 base? And I'm going to select this one. So here this family is general purpose T2 micro, everything is fine. And let me give, you can select any one availability zone. So I'm saying I want it in 2A. That doesn't matter here. So rest everything is fine. I want only one EC2, number of servers that I want is one. And I go to add storage. Now this is very important here. So as you can see here that this is my root volume. Yes or no, guys? The volume type is root volume, and by default we are getting 30 GB of size, and the EBS
Mm-hmm.
volume type is general purpose SSD GP2, which we have already discussed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now see this particular device. So what is the path of the root volume is slash dev slash sda1, right? So let me do one thing. Let me just go ahead and keep this safe because we may require this at some point. Okay. So I'm going to add tag. I'm not going to add any tag. We'll do it later. And here it's asking select an existing security group. So let me see if we have an RDP open. Okay, here it seems like, okay. So here you see we have opened RDP because this is a Windows instance that we are going to access. So for RDP, the port number is 3389, that is RDP port, and review and launch. So everything seems to be perfect and fine. And I'm going to use the same key pair because we are in Ohio region. So yes, I acknowledge it and I'm going to launch an instance. Okay. So let me go here and view the instance. So it is going to take some time to launch it. Let us wait for a while. In the meanwhile, let us see this section here. We have something called as snapshot, which is completely empty, and we have something called as volume. So now you are able to see the root volume is showing over here, right? It's in use. That means it has been attached to our EC2 server, right? So I'm just waiting for the initial status checks. Let that complete, guys. So with this, if that works, you will get a clarity, great clarity you will get. So I'm just waiting for the status checks here to happen, and then we are going to see what we can do. Takes a while. In the meanwhile, let me do one thing. I'm going to download this RDP file here. So I'm going to save this one, and we are going to decrypt the password here. Okay, it's not available because still it is checking here. Okay, let's wait for a while. Let's wait for a while. So for Windows instance, it takes a little bit more time than the Linux instance. Don't worry for that. In the meanwhile, I'm going to name this one as Windows Server. Okay. Okay. Still initializing. So here this is available, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this one and I'm going to open this, and I'm going to click on decrypt password, and we have a password over here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this password over here. Okay, I'm going to copy this password over here, and I'm going to close this now, and I have already downloaded a file, RDP file. Let me go there and let me click on connect. It's asking for the password. I'm going to paste the password, the decrypted password, and I'm trying to hit on connect, and I say yes here. So let's see, guys, if this works, because we are trying to play with the root volume of EC2 instance. Let's see. So as you can see, we are connecting to the remote server, Windows server. Yes, guys, are you able to see the screen? This is a remote server, Windows server that you can see on your screen right now. So, okay, fine. And very soon you are going to see the stats over here, the metadata of this Windows server. So I'm just waiting for that. So in the meanwhile, let me do one thing. So here I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to name this folder any name you can give. I'm going to name Sunny, and let me go to this location over here. So this particular location, we have this PC and you can see 30 GB of the space that we get. And let me create one more folder over here with any name. So let me create a folder with a name as test. All right, so we have created few files. Guys, are you able to understand this, what we have done here till now? So we have,
Yes.
great. So we have created two files. So one is on the desktop and the other one is where? In the C drive, right? Now guys, let's move on to the next part. So what we are going to do, okay, this is fine. This is up and running, no issues at all. So now let me go to the snapshot section. So here you see there is no snapshot till now, right? Now we are going to create a new snapshot. So we can click here. So here you have two options. We have first option as if you want to take a snapshot, you can take a snapshot of EBS volume, right? And also we have instance. Now the usually question comes that what is the difference between both of them? What is the difference between both of them? See here, if I select this one, then I'll have to provide the volume ID, EBS volume ID, right? That particular volume ID I'll have to provide. And
Mm-hmm.
just imagine that if we select here instance, so in our case, in with our instance, we have only one EBS volume as of now, right? That is the
Mm-hmm.
root volume. So by default, it will take that. But just imagine that in my with my EC2 instance, there are 2 to 3 EBS volumes which are attached. Then if we select instance, then it will take snapshot of all the EBS volumes, right? Understood the
Mm-hmm.
difference? That's the only difference. So now we can select any one of them. So I'm going to take instance, and here it is going to ask instance ID. So here we have the instance ID. And if you see here, it's saying that you can give some description if you want. That is completely optional. It's not mandatory to give, but I'm going to give it as a snap. Okay. I'm going to give it as a snap. And you see here, we have something called as exclude root volume. We are not going to check this because we want a snapshot of the root volume, right? And here you can give tag if you want. And I'm not going to give any tag over here. So to be very frank, so I'm going to click on create snapshot. So just tell me guys, is it possible to take a snapshot now? Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Yes, we are able to create a snapshot, but it is not recommended to take a snapshot when the instance is running, because as of now we are not doing any operation, but in real time there might be something which might be getting processed with the EBS volume. So if you take, the complete data will not be captured, right? So in real time scenario, it is always a good practice to stop the EC2 instance and then we should take the snapshot, right? So fine, guys, this is allowing us to take a snapshot. So I'm going to close this. So here in the snapshot section, you are able to see that the state of the snapshot is in pending state, right? So this state will change now. This state will change. So let's wait for that. It takes a while. It takes a while. Don't worry, guys. It takes a while and this is going to change. And So now if you are able to observe here, this status has from pending, it has changed to completed. That means what? That means that I have taken the snapshot of EBS root volume successfully. Now guys, till here, do you have any confusions? What we did? No, right? We have taken a
Mm-hmm.
snapshot of what? EBS root volume that is attached with our EC2 instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was our question, guys? So, can we attach the root volume, right, of our EC2 instance to another instance, right? That is
Yes.
what,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So, let's see
Mm-hmm.
if we are able to achieve that or not, right? So, what to do now? See here, if you go to the volume section, we have only one volume, right? And this is the, let's say what, this is the root volume that we have, right? Root volume. I'm just giving a name here. This is the root volume, right, of the server. So I have given the name
Uh-huh.
as root volume. Now observe carefully, guys. This is the root volume which is in use, and we have written some data in this particular volume itself, and this is showing when it is created and all the details, and the availability zone, and currently this is in use, right? Currently the status of this is in use, right? And we are not doing any monitoring and all, and the volume status is okay, and we have not encrypted it, right? That's what it is telling. Now we are going to move to a very critical section, guys, and we are going to play with this one. So let's see if we are usually able to do that or not. So what I'm going to do, see guys, this is I selected instance, right, while creating a snapshot. Even if you would have done volume and selected volume ID, we would have got the same snapshot, right? Because we have only one volume, right? But I don't want to
Uh-huh.
unnecessarily create two snapshots because it is going to charge me, right? Because
Uh-huh.
it is going to store in AWS S3. Now guys, I'm going to my instance here, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete this instance. Okay, I'm just going to delete this instance. So actually this is risky, but let's see if that works. So I'm going to delete this instance, and I'm going to say yes, terminate. Okay, fine. So I'm going to terminate this one. So it takes a while to terminate. And when we go to this section here, you are able to see here, we have something called action, right? We have selected this particular snapshot that we have taken. Okay, so let me take
Uh-huh.
it as a snapshot of, I'm just giving a small name of root volume, right? Snapshot of root volume, so that you don't get confused. This is a snapshot of root volume. Now, guys, if we go to, if we select this and go to actions here, we have multiple options. Amongst them, we have something called as create volume. You're able to see that,
Yes.
right? So I'm going to click on this one. Now this is very, very important section. So what basically I'm trying to achieve here is using a snapshot. Okay, I'm going to create a new volume. So this is fine, general purpose SSD. Now one thing is very, very important that I was discussing yesterday also. If I here the size is 30. Now this is not possible for me to decrease the size, right? I can increase the size here, but I cannot decrease from 30, right? You can always have the same size as of the snapshot, or you can have more. That completely depends on you, right? So even if I try to do that forcefully, if I try to do that, you are able to see the error message which says the size of the volume can only be increased and not decreased, right? That's what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to leave it as it is. That is, let the size be what, 30 GB. And here we have something called as ability zone. Here you can choose in which ability zone you want to keep it and all. So in that particular ability zone, you will have to launch the instance using this volume. So as of now, let it be 2A. I'm happy with this. Okay, and I don't want to encrypt this. Okay, so as of now, I don't want to encrypt this, and I'm going to create on create volume. So as you can see here, the volume is created. I'm going to close this, and if you come here, we have a particular volume, right? If you go to volume, we have a particular volume over here, right? And right now this is available, right? The state is available. Now what I'm going to do here, guys, see quickly here. So I'm going to tell you a shortcut. Okay, I want to launch an instance, right? So what I can do, instead of going through all the 7 steps to launch the instance, I'm going to select this instance and I'm going to actions. Okay, let me do one thing, guys. Okay, this is already terminated, so we don't have data. Okay, we'll have to launch the instance. Okay, see here. So I'm going to launch another instance. So I'm going to launch another instance, Windows instance, and let's say I'm going to launch okay, this one. And yeah, this is fine. And here I'm going to select 2A because our volume is in 2A ability zone, right? So here everything seems to be fine, and I'm going to do next. I'm going to do next. I'm going to do next. And when it comes to security group, I'm going to select this security group. That means I'm going to open the RDP port 3389, and I'm going to do review and launch. I'm going to launch it, right? I'm going to launch this one, and yes, this is perfectly fine. Just a moment, let me just check something here. uh, Configure instance and add storage. Yes, the path you can see slash dev slash sda1. Okay, no, fine. Okay, let me go here, and everything is fine, and review and launch. Now I'm going to launch it, and I say yes, I'm going to use the existing key pair, and which is this key pair, and I'm going to launch the instance, and I'm going to view the instance. This is kind of typical, guys, but let's see if that works. Again, it's going to take some time. Don't worry for that. It's going to take a little bit of time here. So in the meanwhile, let's go here.
Mm.
See guys, over here, this is my volume that we have created with snapshot, right? Snap wall. And this is my root volume that is there with my new EC2 instance, right or not? Right? This is the new volume that we have. You can see it's exactly now 1 minute before this is launched. So this server that we launched right now, right, which is a root volume is getting attached to this. So that volume is this volume, which is in use. Yes, are you able to get it?
Yes.
Okay, so now we'll have to wait for the instance to be in a ready state, because we have to proceed further. So I'm going to the instance, still initializing, no issues. So let it initialize. Okay, we have 10 minutes remaining. I think it should happen within 10 minutes, otherwise it will be a problem here. We need to do a little bit fast. So at least you guys have an idea, right? How we take snapshot and what is incremental snapshot, and after taking snapshot, how can we create a volume with that snapshot in whichever ability zone we want, right? Right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's taking a little bit of time. It's taking a little bit of time, but let it be ready, guys. I hope. So let me see first. Okay. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do here is let me stop this instance. Just wanted that status check to happen very fast. Shouldn't take much. Okay, fine. Now this instance is up and running. Now this is my new server, new Windows server, because we
Mm-hmm.
have deleted our old server that we launched, right? Okay, fine, guys. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop this. Now you will understand why I'm going to stop this. Okay, so I'm going to stop this. See what I did, I launched a new EC2 instance, and instead of accessing that by logging in, what I did is I just stopped it. Right now the state is changing, and let it be in a stop state. So it's stopping right now, and let it be in a stop state. So Windows Server will take some time, don't worry. So in the meanwhile, when it is in a stop state, so you see now this is in the stop state. Now we go to the volume section, and what we do here is, you can see here this is available, right? And the empty zone is US
Mm-hmm.
2A. So no issues. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to select this one. And you see here, okay, first of all, you see here, this is in use right now, right? This one is in use.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do, this is my root volume, right? That we have with the server, correct or not?
Mm-hmm.
Now what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to this action, and there is an option here, detach volume, right? Able to see,
Mm-hmm.
guys?
Yes.
So I'm just going to click this one, and I'm going to click on detach volume. Yes, detach. So what I have done, I'm detaching this from my server. I have stopped the server, and whatever root volume was there, I'm going to detach that. Why I'm going to detach that? Because I'm going to
Because
add another volume.
attach. Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. We'll add the snap volume.
Okay, so now it is in use, but we have detached it, right? So let us wait for the state to change. So now you see this is in available state. Now what we are going to do here is, we are going to go to the snap volume, and we are going to remove this, right? And we go to actions, and we have something called as attach volume. And what is the instance? So it says that, hey, this is the instance ID, and the server name is this, and this is in stop state. I say, okay, fine. But you see here, the device it says is XVDF, right? Right or not?
Right.
But we have already copied the path here. So what is the path is /dev/hda1, because root volume is mounted on this path. So we want to make this as a root volume, right? So we are going to give this path. Okay. So we are going to give this
Mm-hmm.
path over here, and we are going to say attach. Okay. We are going to say attach. Now you see this, my snap volume, it says here that this is in use. Correct or not?
Yes.
Okay, guys, now our experiment is almost at the approaching end. Now I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to start this server, right? I'm going to instance state, and I'm going to start this server. So you can see the state is pending and all, right? And it is just
Mm.
change the state from pending to started, running state. I'm just waiting for it to be in a running state. And now this is very, very crucial part, guys. Even I don't know if this will work, but it should work. Let's keep our finger crossed. Now it is in running state. So in the meanwhile, I'll go ahead and download the desktop RDP file. It's getting downloaded over here, and let me cancel this one, and let me go here. So again, this state is getting initialized. The state is getting initialized, and status check. So, okay, fine, guys. What I'll do here is, In the meanwhile, I'll just open this particular 170.69, right? Okay, fine. And I'm going to hit on connect. And as and when I say connect, it is going to ask for password. Now what, guys, I'm going to copy this password, right? Because this was the password that we decrypted. So let me use the same password and let's see that if it works or not. So I think still it's initializing. So once the status check is up, we should be fine to connect to it. Just waiting for the status checks, guys. And it should be available soon. We have less time. It should be there. Again, this is Windows Server, so it's going to take some amount of time here, guys. Cannot do anything. So I hope you understood the process of, taking a copy of the root volume and via snapshot and detaching the root volume from an EC2 server and launching a server and then attaching the previous root volume, right?
Right.
See, this is going to take some time. Don't know. Even if I connect now, I think it's should connect. Takes a time to update. So you saw that this password has worked, right? Because this
Mm-hmm.
was stored in the previous EBS volume. So let's see, guys, here if we are able to use this server or not. So it is still loading. So you are able to see here in the another EC2 server, we have the file called as Sunny,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yes.
And let me check the C drive. We have created a folder in C drive also. So do you remember which file was there in which we created? So test, right? It is over there, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
means this lab is successful, right? Understood,
Yes.
guys, what we did?
Yes.
Correct. See here, now you are able to answer this question, right? Can we attach a root
Yes, we
volume
can.
of EC2 instance to another EC2 instance in some other availability zone? The answer to this question would be yes. And you know how to do that, correct? Yes, we can do that, right? With the help of a snapshot.
Yes.
Yes, guys, that was all about EBS snapshots. I hope you enjoyed the practical today, right? You got some clarity, right,
Yes.
Karan?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I got it properly today. Means practical.
Yeah, so, okay, great. So, is it clear, Gaurav?
Yes, it is clear.
Great. So, I'm just going to stop this meeting now and let's meet tomorrow again